What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You are watching the weekly market watch. We do these every Monday and Friday, and we go over some card prices, Lorcana news, and all things Lorcana for your YouTube Lorcana feed. And today we have a bunch of information for you, like some new cards that have been revealed by a bunch of amazing content creators, by the way, from Into the Inklands. That is going to be the set 3 for Lorcana. Check this out. We have Robin Hood. It's a 6 inkable. 4 strength, 5 willpower, and this boy quests for 4. My goodness, that is a hefty Robin Hood right there. And then we have some other cards like this Queen of Hearts right here, Wonderland Empress. This card is a 3 inkable, has 3 strength, 3 willpower, and it has an effect that says whenever this character quests, your other villain characters gain +1 lore this turn. So we can maybe see some actual villain synergy, some villain deck building Into the Inklands with some more villain stuff going on. Then we have This Way to Olympus. By the way, shout out all the wonderful Discord goons being part of the Goon Squad, updating us all on these new card reveals, even providing translations. Pay no heed, thank you. We have This Way to the Olympus. Your characters gain +3 this turn while challenging a location. This is an action card, not a song, and it's a 1 inkable card. Pretty interesting. We also have Miss Bianca, which was revealed today. This is basically a Sebastian similar card. It's a 2 inkable, 2 strength, 2 willpower, quest for 1, and it's a singer 4, and it's an amber card. So now you can play multiple Sebastians if you really want to see your ability to sing 4. You can play 8 copies now. And then we also have Diablo. This is Maleficent's crow is what it's looking like. Whenever you play a character named Maleficent, you may look at the top card of your deck, place it to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so we've seen that running theme before in Amethyst. Probably one of the best cards revealed. We have Rise of the Titans. This is going to be a 3 inkable that says banish chosen location or item. So once again, Steel getting all the removal for items is what it's looking like, and the ability to banish a location right off the bat. So maybe locations might be very fragile. Maybe there's more colors that might do stuff like that. But you know, if you guys want more Lorcana card reveals, be sure to follow all of these wonderful content creators like Googly Glimmer. Shout out you guys, getting these awesome card reveals. And no, I know you guys are expecting one on this channel, but we have not gotten any card reveals, and it really doesn't matter because we're all looking at the cards right here anyways, right? But you know, stop asking. The point is though, we have some more news that was given to us today as well. We have the 2 league pins that we are going to be giving out for Into the Inkland season. We have Sheriff of Nottingham Corrupt Official pin, so, and then we also have Stitch Covert Agent pin. Pretty awesome. I am yet to collect any of the league pins for Lorcana. Unfortunately, around my area, most of the official league stores just aren't fun to support, in my opinion. They were charging way too much for stuff. In our last bit of news, we also have a spoiler from Lorcana Player Twitter account. They noticed that the official website now has a section holding page for Spanish and Italian. If you can see right here, it says Un mundo de maravillas te está llamando. Da tus primeros pasos en el Illuminarium. So that's pretty cool. And then it even says Conéctese con nosotros ahora en los redes sociales. By the way, Ravensburger, Team Lorcana, if you guys need a Spanish speaker for a card reveal, I might be your Lorcana goon over here. You know what I'm saying? Point is though, pretty awesome. It's really cool to see the expansion of Lorcana into other languages. I know that we're expecting the worldwide release very soon, so you're probably going to be able to get your cards in Spanish, Italian, Asian languages, depending on what kind of player you are. I know some players do like the foreign cards. I like having Spanish cards because it does mean a lot to me. And in general, you know, I think this is pretty cool to see the game expand in this way. If I could have some Spanish cards, some Spanish Enchanted cards, oh man, that'd be really cool. That would really hit home for me, you know what I'm saying? So that is pretty cool to see. We do have some cards that are listed on TCG Player that are from Into the Inklands. If you want to spend way too much money on some pre-order singles, you can buy them right now, but these card prices are going to be a lot lower. Although Bernard might be one of my favorite reveals from Into the Inklands, I don't think you should pay $7 to pre-order it. This card says at the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, you may ready another chosen character of yours. It's a 4 inkable from Amber. It's going to have a 1 strength and 5 willpower. We also got some cool cards like Iago. It's $1 for a common. Do you really want to spend $1 for a common? No, but this card is flipping awesome. I love the artwork for this one especially. We also have Tiana's Palace, aka Jazz Restaurant. It's a $4 uncommon that says the characters can't be challenged while here. Now, although that does sound like an awesome ability, I don't think you're going to need to pay $4 for this card. An 8 willpower location seems kind of outrageous, right? But when you you kind of think about it now that we're getting the removal immediately for locations, like with that steel card, it might not be super impactful, you know, but 8 willpower seems pretty crazy, and you can't challenge the characters there. Pretty nuts, pretty nuts. But is it going to be a $4 uncommon? No, of course not. All of the uncommons from the current sets of Lorcana are all less than $1. Cursed Merfolk, check this one out, a rare revealed from one of our favorite content creators, Rebecca, aka Illuminary Library. This card says whenever this character is challenged, each opponent chooses and discards a card. So more discard synergy for Emerald is what it's looking like. It's a 1 ink, uninkable, 0 strength, 1 willpower. And then we even have some more locations like Belle's house, Maurice's workshop. If you have a character here, you can pay 1 less for your items. That's a 1 ink location. And we have Lyle Tiberius. This card is a super rare 3 ink, uninkable, and it's gonna have a 2 strength, 4 willpower stat line that says whenever you play this character, chosen opposing character gains reckless during their next turn. And it has a second ability that says whenever one of your other characters is banished, each opponent loses 1 lore. Wow, that's pretty cool. Cards that have multiple abilities are definitely going to be strong in the meta. Is this going to be a $20 super rare? No, of course not. So don't go pre-ordering these $20 super rare singles. There's no point. You're definitely going to be able to find them at reasonable prices, especially when some of these super rares for the first chapter and Rise of the Floodborn are as low as $5 to $10 now. Cards that used to be $20 like Lyle over here are now $5 to $10, but we'll get into that. Thank you guys so much for checking out these reveals with me and whatnot, and thank you for following and subscribing to Lorcana Goons. I do really appreciate it. Lately I've been getting a lot of positive comments and DMs, so I just want to take a second to say thank you, and it means a lot to me. I know TCGs are kind of new for a lot of us. Maybe you're new to Lorcana, maybe you're new to TCGs. I've been playing card games for such a long time that to me it's become like second nature to just be so invested and obsessed with it. You know what I mean? But card games really have done a lot for me in terms of putting me in a place in my life where I feel like I can occupy my time in a healthy way. You know what I mean? And I've made some awesome and amazing friends through card games, and I'm glad I can share that with you guys. So with that, it's pretty cool to see all the DMs, all the nice comments you guys leave me. Even when you guys disagree with me, I appreciate that you guys are nice about it. You guys aren't rude to other people in the comments, so please keep that up. It goes a long way. And then especially when you guys meet me in person or through other tournaments and whatnot, and you guys acknowledge the Lorcana Goons channel, it means so much to me because I do put a lot of effort into the channel. I do put a lot of effort into looking up these card prices and all the other videos I do too. I'm really excited to upgrade my laptop into a real computer so that I can just make more content for the Lorcana Goons squad. So if you are part of the Lorcana Goons squad, nation, etc., just know I appreciate you extremely, and I'm doing this for all of us. You know what I mean? And by the way, to my Spanish-speaking homies, yes, that is a Guatemalan flag, and I do appreciate that you guys acknowledge that as well. So muchas gracias a todos, and you know, continue to support the channel. It means so much to me. But anyways, let's take a look at these first chapter booster box prices. These are going to be still sitting at around $200, and I'm pretty impressed. I thought these were not going to be more than MSRP again, but yeah, man, Tier 1 Games has you here for $194 with 85 cents. Shout out them. They hosted a 1K in Southern California, and they are very nice people. So Tier 1 Games, awesome locals, check them out. First chapter booster boxes though, $200. Makes sense, right? With all the Enchanted hype going around, these aren't going to be less than $200 anytime soon. Rise of the Floodborn booster boxes are also starting to pick up a little bit in price. They were less than $120, some of them selling for like that $111 range last week, as we were seeing right here. Yep, just yesterday a bunch selling for $111, $119, and today a bunch selling for $122, $123. So just like a little bit more. The price is increasing just a little bit more, but really what I'm focusing on is the fact that there's a lot of sales movement. Just in yesterday and today, throughout the week, it's looking like more than 20 booster boxes sold online, right? The Enchanted hype is very real, as you will see. A lot of the Rise of the Floodborn Enchanteds are also starting to shoot up in price a little bit. And into the England's booster box pre-orders are now basically at MSRP, and this is pretty much like, you know, I think this is a green light. You know what I mean? What more can you really ask for? The market price for the pre-orders is at MSRP. It is at the retailer suggested price. And we as consumers need to take a second for a little bit and just understand that like most trading card games don't like to do this. So it's pretty cool to see Ravensburger take that much action to ensure that people can actually take the time out of the day to know what to expect to pay for this game. Unlike the first two formats, when you're paying double for this booster box, and a lot of people are new to Lorcana, so when they were checking the prices online, they probably saw $143. I can afford a booster box, you know. And then you see the first chapter prices on the secondary market, and it's just unfair, you know. So this is really awesome to see. I definitely think that if you are someone who wants Into the Inklands, why not? It's at MSRP. You know, that's the first time I'm probably going to promote a pre-order positive idea right there. But we have some Enchanted news to catch up on. Simba returned king from the first chapter. Now, this card was listed at $300 and nobody was buying it at $300, right? And then it was listed at $250, $200, and it wasn't seeing a lot of sales. And I just really want to make a point real quick, because there were some doubters in the last video when we kindly explained last week that people are probably going to start undercutting each other and listing their Simbas from 300 to 250, and then 250 to 220, and then 220 to 200, and then less than 200, and so on and so on. And people disagreed, and that's cool. I feel that. But look what's happening. Not any sales really happening from Monday to Friday on this Simba. Two of them had sold over the weekend for that $200 range, like I said. On the 27th, another one for 200. On the 30th, we have a light plate foil for 120. That's really the only sale that has been happening since from here to Monday. And now there's more listings. There's 21 listings now. One unverified for 185, and a couple more verified listings for 187, 188. So it's around that $190 range listed. It's $10 cheaper than it was on Sunday through Monday, and I just get the feeling it's gonna keep going lower. You know what I mean? So didn't sell at 300. Not that many sold at like 250. A couple sold at 200. You know, but you know, and then now we're seeing the light plates sell. So is it really worth that price? You guys have to, you know, tell me. You guys give me your opinion. I think this is not a $200 Enchanted rare, maybe like 150 to 200 as of right now. However, I do feel like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you have mint condition Enchanted rares, they're gonna be worth more than this. That's what I think. So long term wise, I think you could buy this Enchanted rare and not really care, as long as you just keep it, you know, keep it clean, keep it away from the elements, and make sure it stays mint condition. Another card that this has been happening with was Aurora Dream Guardian. You can tell right here by this chart, it's looking kind of ugly. It bounced off that $200 mark, and that was a little bit too expensive, I think. Plenty of them were selling for more than 200 at one point, and this is what me and Zach were talking about when we were saying don't go chasing these prices, because a lot of them were selling for 230, 220, 240, you know. And as of this week, a couple sold for that 220 range, 215. Yesterday, one sold for 190, and as of today, we have multiple listings for 192, 192, 194. So less than $200 now. There's way more listings too. That when we looked at this on last Friday, there was, I think, less than 20 listings for a lot of these Enchanted rares. Now we have 27 listings for the Aurora Dream Guardian. So naturally, people are gonna match the price. You know what I mean? This whole first page is basically $200. So if you paid more than $200 for this Aurora Dream Guardian, now there's like 10 other listings that are $200, you know, and just waiting a couple days showed us that. Stitch Carefree Surfer is one that's holding up kind of nicely, though, in my opinion. Plenty of sales for this one, still within that $250+ range. We have two that sold for $265 just today, and then one that sold yesterday for $247. So this one, it makes more sense at $250 range. We have a bunch of listings unverified though for less than $300. And I know at one point these were listed for $300, and I want to say, yeah, two of them sold. One sold for $300, one sold for $325, and it did kind of calm down since, which is again what we were saying. You know, maybe paying $300 was a little too much. But as of right now, they're still within that $250 range. And man, it's still better than what it was in the beginning of the year when they were selling for $150. You know, so if you were buying Enchanted at the beginning of January, congratulations, you're plus. But as of right now, again, you shouldn't go chasing those hills. That FOMO was very real. So if you were buying these Enchanted at like $300 today, they are going to be a little bit cheaper, but some of them are still holding their weight, which is nice to see. The first verified is $330, but like I mentioned, there's about 7 unverified listings that are less than $300 for the Stitch Carefree Surfer. So if you don't want that card, maybe pay a little less than $300. Around $250 is what I'd pay for it. Maui Hero to All, kind of similar thing. These were listed for like $200, and about 1 or 2 sold for more than 200, around that $200 range. And again, some people were chasing them. Don't think that was the smartest thing to do, because as of yesterday, one sold for 163, 153, and then over the weekend 189 and what. So the price is just going lower and lower with the Maui. People are just undercutting each other, and although it is more expensive than it was in the beginning of the year, it's still a little bit safer to wait from the hype. Whenever you see the prices just shooting up, give it a week or two, they're going to come back down a little bit. And we see this with Maui. Lowest verified for a mint is going to be $153 now. And again, first page, plenty of listings that are nowhere near $200, like about 5 to 6 listings. So I think paying $200 for the Maui was a little bit excessive. And then now we have Enchanted Elsa, everybody's favorite. This Elsa always seeing sales moving, which is nice to see. We have a couple listings that were sold today for around that $650 range, one for $675. We have a CGC graded 8 version that sold for $624, even cheaper than the raw. I think you should just buy the raw at that point if it's listed for near mint, right? And now we have the lowest listing by Goodlands Games KS. They have it for $660. After that, the next verified seller has it for $670. So we're not at that $700 range yet, because there's still a couple listings here, verified, unverified, that are kind of bouncing off that $700 range. But man, the Enchanted Elsa just continues to amaze me. Is this a little bit too expensive? I think it might be a little bit too expensive personally. I think $600 is a great price. That'll probably be a decent price, but chasing at 700, 800, more than that, that's just a lot. Even me personally, I don't think I would want to pay $600 for this card. I'd probably want to aim for somewhere around 400 to 500. But hey, like I said, they have not necessarily said that they are not going to print more first chapter, but they said they could if they want to. They just haven't made any announcement whatsoever. But the first chapter enchanters are not the only enchanters that are seeing a lot of sales movement. The Cinderella Barm Sensation saw a couple sales this week since Monday at that $285 range. So this card is still not more than $300, but it is bouncing off that $300 range. We have lowest verified near mint for $280. So that's pretty cool to see, because this is the most expensive enchanted rare in Rise of the Floaterborn box. So the fact that this is holding its price is definitely giving me a lot of confidence in the ability for Rise of the Floaterborn to just kind of stay a relevant set in the market. Like, there's always going to be interest to buy Rise of the Floodborn, I think, if you have the ability to pull an enchanted rare like this that can double your money. But this isn't the only enchanted rare that has been going up in Rise of the Floodborn. Now, even cheap enchanted rares like Nari are more than $100 listed, which is awesome to see, because now if you're buying a booster box of Rise of the Floodborn at $120 and you pull an enchanted Nari, back then, like 2 weeks ago, you were paying double the price of Rise of the Floodborn, and the enchanted rares were about 30% cheaper. $70 is what this enchanted Nari was during December, and the booster box for Rise of the Floodborn during December was at least $200 still. So now it's starting to make sense. Like a month ago, it felt so bad buying Rise of the Floodborn, but as of today, it's starting to make some sense. You know, we have plenty of sales that happen for this Nari at around $100, 103, 103, and now there's 14 listings left, with the lowest verified for the near mint being $150 from Card Titan. Well, now there is a bunch of unverified listings that have it still closer for that $100 range, but there's only 3 left, and after that it starts to hit 120. So Enchanted Nari going up in price a little bit, alongside with Beast Relentless. This card also going up in price. These were selling for less than $100 in the beginning of January. Even last week they were selling for around like $90 to $100, and as of today, lowest verified is going to be by Mackenzie's Card Shop at $119.95. So $120 for this beast, about $30 more than what it was before earlier in the year, maybe even $40 more, and a couple sales happening before February for that $120 range. But all of the $100 listings are gone now. So if you wanted Relentless Beast, you're going to be paying more than $100 now. Enough of the enchanted rares. Let's get into some meta relevant singles that you might need for your decks. Now, Belle, strange but special, one of the best Sapphire cards in the game right now. If you're playing Sapphire Steel, you absolutely need this card to combat the Ruby Amethyst matchup, and it does show in the amount of sales that are happening. Just yesterday and today alone, it's looking like 20, almost 30 sales for Belle, strange but special. Hey, the game is popping. People like to play Lorcana. It's showing in the sales, right? Just today alone, it's looking like 7, 8 sales for this Belle, all around that $27 range, almost $30 earlier in the week. Yeah, they were bouncing off $30. Plenty of sales for that $29.99 range. Today, lowest verified is going to be $27.99 by Sunshine Games. So basically $30, almost $30. Let's say $27, $28 for Belle, right? If I had one, which I do, I'm going to sell it for $28. Awesome card used in Sapphire Steel. Doesn't seem like it's going to be any worse in Into the Inklands either. Being able to quest for 5 and ramp yourself some extra ink, a completely solid staple for Sapphire, right? Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, although this was seeing a lot less play in the week, the price really hasn't come down. There is more listings though. Now we're at 140 listings. I think last time we saw it, we were close to that early 100. Now it looks like there's a decent amount of listings that have been put up online, and over throughout the week this week, a lot of them were selling for that $35 range. So it's still about $35. I think this card is going to stay around $35. It could dip a little bit because of the lack of playability that it's seeing right now in the meta, but still very popular. We have crunch cards right here. They have it for $34.48, lowest verified. But let's take a look at the foil, because the foils are still pretty expensive. Nearest lowest verified near mint is going to be $66 plus $3 shipping for this foil, so $70 for your Maleficent Monstrous Dragon foils. Speaking of foils, this foil continues to amaze me. Now, although the non-foil price for Rapunzel is still around that $36 to $40 range, we have a lowest verified by Crunch's Cards again for $36 with $1 shipping. Next, we have it by Over the Top Games for $37 plus $2 shipping. So about $30 to $40 is what you're expected to pay for this card. But the foil price for Rapunzel is nearing $80. Lowest verified is going to be by Collectibles by MC for a near mint Rapunzel, $80.94. After that, Clouds has it for $80.88. We do have Steely Games. Shout out you guys. You guys are not verified, but they have one for about $77. So if you guys want your cold foil Rapunzels, if you're selling your cold foil Rapunzels, $80 now. Congratulations. The Princess Tax is winning. This card is not the most expensive legendary in Lorcana, but probably one of the most expensive foils now, being more expensive than Beast Tragic Hero and Maleficent Dragon. Why? Because it's a princess, you know what I mean? And but we'll see what happens with the other cards. Beast Tragic Hero, still a $45 non-foil, which is cool to see. They're bouncing off that $50 range. I think $50 is probably the most you should pay for this card, and if not, I would still probably try and aim for $45. The cold foils for this card are going to be listed at a whopping $59.69 by Summit SCG. After that, we have plenty of listings in the non-verified section for around that $60 range, and then it goes LT Bruno for $64.99 next verified. So about $60 to $65 for your cold foil Beast Tragic Heroes. This card's super popular in the meta right now, being used in pretty much every other steel deck that you're playing, and the meta being so polarizing right now kind of limits you to the kind of cards you can play. So the market is showing that, and you're really only playing either Ruby Amethyst, you're playing one of the 3 steel variants, which is like Steel Sapphire, Amethyst Steel, Amber Steel, or Emerald Steel, right? And if you're not playing the steel deck, then you're playing a Mufasa deck. So you really only have like, not 3 options, because obviously it's kind of vast, right? But you're kind of limited to just the cards that are good in this format, and it limits you to like Mufasa, Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, Beast, and Rapunzel. Those are like the 4 cards you're building your decks around, which is kind of hilarious. Oh, and Belle, right? So there's like 5 main cards you're building your decks around this format, and they're all the 5 main legendaries, and it's showing in the meta, and that's why some of the prices for the other cards are just taking major dips, whereas like some of these legendaries are keeping like super high prices. But we have Hades Infernal Schemer, part of that Sapphire engine, like I was just mentioned. This card bouncing off that $25 range, selling more for around $20. So plenty of sales happening for $20 yesterday, today, 2022 around there, and today lowest verified is going to be by Crunch's Cards again. Shout out you guys. You guys have the lowest verified listings for the day. So shout out Crunch's Cards if you guys want some verified listing cards. They have a bunch for you. And the thing about some of the first chapter cards is there's a bunch of non-verified sellers that have them for $20, you know, so you can get a little discount if you're focusing on getting from non-verified sellers. And it also goes to show that there is plenty of first chapters still being moved around in the market, right, when we're seeing all these listings. But there's only 13 listings for the foil Hades. Lowest verified is going to be by Airnax, and they have it for $43.50 right there for you. So around $45 for this foil legendary. Mufasa, Betrayed Leader, $20 again, and $20 I think is a good price for Mufasa. Could be a little bit more, but by golly, so many listings, 103 listings. And the deck is popular, but it's not like the most popular deck. I want to say it's like the third most popular engine is playing a Mufasa style deck right now. But lowest verified that we have it by blinged out deck for $19.99. And if you want to foil Mufasa, we have Kazan cards here. They got you for $32.45, around $35 almost for the foil Mufasa. It's good to see that price stick around. I think $35 is a great price for the foil Mufasa. Something about this artwork, about this card, I feel like it has like pretty high collectability alongside with like Elsa Spirit of Winter. Still selling for around that $15 to $17 mark. Crunches cards got you again $15.60, lowest verified. Then we have K Nerd Squared. They have it for $15.78 with $1 shipping. So about $16 to $17 for the Elsa. The foil version of this Elsa is $40 right there. Summit's SCG has you for $39.69, $40 for this foil Elsa. And then we have Stitch Carefree Surfer. This dude is bumping off that $20 mark, so if you want them for around $15 to $17, today's your day. I think it's a good price for the non-foil today. It's about like less than 20 bucks, like I said, and the foil version is nearing that $40 mark though. So the foils are starting to see their value increase over these last couple weeks. Since January 20th, this foil has gone up about $10 almost. Phoenix Den has you for $37.90 with $1 shipping. After that, we have Trash Pumpkin LLC for $38 with $1 shipping. So about $40 for this foil. It's cool. It's gone up like 10 bucks since from the end of January to the beginning of February. And what's cool is that the foil has gone up like 10 bucks while the non-foil has been bouncing off that $20 range. So, you know, I just like that more. I just like that the foils are much more reliable. And at one point, these foils were only about $15 to $20. You know what I mean? So to see it climb from 20 to 30, now from 30 to 40, is just so reassuring because I love buying these foils because the prices are so when they're low though. Right now it's a little bit high. I don't know if it's worth buying anymore. I'm not gonna buy anymore. I didn't get 4 of them, but I'm not gonna buy any more of the surface stitches. Another foil that's pretty good, Ursula Power Hungry. These are listed for a whopping $39 to $40. Phoenix Den has you for $39.99, and then Preacher Cards has you for $40 with shipping included. There's only 11 listings for this card though, which is always crazy to see. There's not that many Ursulas in the market. I feel like the foil Ursula is like short print or something. And then even the non-foils continue to sell today for $15. So this legendary used to be like less than 10 bucks at one point. It was so underappreciated. Now it's selling for 15 bucks. Nice to see. Good to see. Belle Hidden Archer has been seeing a lot of sales movement in the foil range. In the beginning of January, they were selling for less than 20 bucks. And as of today, lowest verified for a near mint foil Belle Hidden Archer is going to be $23.99 by Elite Card Exchange. So these are starting to go up a little bit. We have some non-verifieds that have you for $20 plus $3 shipping though. So it's still about $23, which is awesome to see. They just jumped up in price in terms of the foils. The non-foils haven't really moved in a lot in price for these. They're still around that $10 range, but hey, that foil price shooting up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe you might want to pick it up while it's still going up before it goes up too high. Whole New World, a super from the first chapter, is seeing a lot of sales movement on the non-verified. In the lot of sales movement in the non-foil category, and mainly because it's super popular in Sapphire Steel and Amber Steel. A lot of sales happening for that $8 range, even one for $9.99. So kind of bouncing off that $10 range again. And the foils for this card are about $12. Radiant Sales has you for $12, which is pretty cool. Lowest verified earlier in the month they were $12, and they kind of fell to around the $11 mark, and they're starting to pick back up a little bit again for the foil prices on Whole New World. Brave Little Tailor Mickey, we looked at this one last Friday. This card is just so good to collect on the foil range. Check this out. It's looked like it's gone even higher. Renox MTG has you for $75. New World Manga has you for $77.98. So almost $80 for the Mickey BLT foil legendary, which is awesome to see. Has to be near mint though, and there's only 13 listings left though. So when these start moving, then we start hitting $85, $99 by Illustrious. So there's about 5 to 6 listings for that are less than $100. But I mean, we'll see what happens over this weekend. There could be more listings for these too, but legendary foils are so hard to pull. So the listings for these don't really come in as much as like non-foils. You know what I mean? So hey, we'll see what happens with this card. If this ends up being more than $100, that would be crazy, right? Arthur is a card that I want to mention today because it's super cheap in price. There's a couple cards here I want to mention that are super cheap in price. Arthur being one of them. Lowest verified for the non-foil is going to be $4.30. $5 for Arthur. That's so good when these were like $20 at one point. And this card is amazing. I think this card's really undervalued as well, and I think it's going to be good next format too. So I don't know, maybe consider getting that. If you want to build Ruby Amethyst, the cards are super cheap right now. Lady Tremaine, Imperious Queen, no, it was about $10, and then it was about $6 to $5. Now, lowest verified you can pick up from Villain Gaming for $3.91 with $1 shipping, about $4, less than $6 like it was. Ariel, Spectacular Singer, seems to be seeing a lot of sales movement. A lot of them were selling for less than $3 this week, $2.50, $2.60, $2.70. Now, lowest verified is going to be $3.50. All of these people have it for $3.50 with $1 shipping. So it is going up in price a little bit, and I think this card you probably should pick up before it ends up being a $5 card again, because it's going to get better with the Into the Inkland songs, especially that Along Came Zeus song, and a couple other things that you probably might need to remove locations. So Ariel, Spectacular Singer, I think is an awesome card to pick up right now. Fishbone Quill is going to be a card definitely played next format as well. It did kind of bump off that $5 range, so you can probably try and find them for around $3 to $4 this week. I think you should pick this card up before it keeps being $5. With this, there's a couple other cards like the Minnie Mouse Wide-Eyed Diver promos. So now I want to talk about the promos briefly. A lot of these promos have started going up in price this week. A bunch of sales happening for these in that $5 range, and we mentioned the league promos for the Mickey, the Hey Hey, and the Yzma on Monday's Market Watch, how they kind of shot up, and since then they haven't seen a lot of movement. The Hey Hey and the Yzma actually fell back in price, but the Mickey is still selling for around $10. But alongside with that, the more recent league promos went up in price, so a bunch were selling for around $2, $3, $4, and as of today there's only 12 listings left. Lowest verified is going to be $4.99 by Rad Lad Games, and they all stick around that $4.99 range for the first 4, but then it starts hitting $7. Ooh, so the Minnie Mouse is doing that. Same thing with the Robin Hood. It's looking like people are just starting to buy these and list them for a little bit higher. Look at this beautiful chart. No longer $3. These are $5 now. Ooh, Robin Hood's actually crazy because there's 2 that are in that $5 range, and immediately they go to $7, $9. So these are starting to shoot up a little bit, you know. Still not $10. I'd still say they're $5 as of today, but let's see where they are after the weekend. Cinderella, Knight in Training, kind of doing a similar skedaddle right here. We're seeing the price move a little bit today with a bunch of sales happening for that $2 to $3 range. There's still 18 listings for this card, so it still has a little bit ways to go, but after the first few listings, they start to hit $5 already. So I want to say these are about $5 now, you know, some $5 promos. And I do want to take a look at the Gen Con Mickey Musketeer promo, because this card has been selling significantly in the last couple weeks. On January 20th, they were bottoming out at around $80, and as of today, the lowest verified on TCG Player is going to be a near mint $110 listing from Ideal 808, and before that there's a couple unverified listings that are near mint, and they're all going to be around that $100 range. So these were selling for less than $100, and now they're about $100 again. Same thing goes with the Goofy Musketeer promo. A lot of these were listed for less than $100 during January. Plenty of them were selling for $70 to $80. And as of this week, we have a bunch of sales that happened for $124, $125, $100. All the $100 listings are gone, by the way. So if we look at the listings now, there's only 8 listings, and the lowest verified is going to be Tier 1 Games California, $125. So hey, shout out Tier 1 Games again. Awesome locals, but they have it for $125. So these are going up in price a little bit. The Goofy Musketeer promo, the Mickey Mouse Musketeer promo, and even the Donald Musketeer promo. This one is doing the same thing as well. All of the $100 listings are gone. There's only 3 listings left, and the lowest verified is $150, excuse me, by It All Must Go. And then we have 2 non-verified sellers for significantly less than $150. So if you want to pay less, you can. But yeah, these cards are starting to get bought out, is what it's looking like. And I don't say like in an inorganic way. I think this is like really like the market is scarce for these. You know what I mean? These promos specifically have these specific icons, by the way, if you didn't notice. Like the Goofy has that little circle with 2023, the Mickey has the Gen Con, and the Donald has this little rainbow square. And these were exclusive to the event that they were at, and Lorcana has already confirmed they're no longer going to be doing exclusive promo cards with these prints anymore. So I do think that these 3 cards are definitely collectible. You know what I mean? They're iconic in ways that are different different than some of the other cards. All right, the packs promos right here have also been going up as well, even though these don't have a specific emblem. They have the general promo emblem, and Lorcana has already said that we're gonna expect to see the cards that look like this in future events for that region. But we haven't gotten any events in the Western world or like America or Canada or whatever other than the PAX event. So that's why this card has been selling for $53 this week. And lowest verified is Flashcards TCG for the Rapunzel Gifted Artist. And now last, I just want to go over some brief news about the first chapter Troves. Now the Trove price has fallen a little bit this week. It's looking like the lowest verified is still around $230, around $40. But we have unverified sellers who have it for around $200 and $215 is what it's looking like. So they were selling for closer to $250, and just seeing those unverified listings for around $200 kind of has me like, oh, did some reprints happen or something? And then I saw this on Facebook earlier this week. Oh, excuse my messages. Saw this on Facebook earlier this week. Somebody actually found Troves on the shelf of what it looks like to be a target. Now, unfortunately, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that these Troves are damaged from the outside. Now, the cards are going to be fine. So if you just wanted to buy the Troves and open up the 8 packs, then that's cool. You know, it doesn't really matter, right? But if you were trying to collect these Troves, it's terrible to see the boxes damaged like this. You know what I mean? Because now you really can't sell these in like a near mint to a collector. So you guys let me know if if you guys start seeing some Troves on the shelves or something, because I don't know, are these reprints? Maybe these are back stock, maybe these were never put out or something, but the fact that somebody actually found Troves at a Target is pretty astonishing to me, and it does have me kind of concerned with the price of the Troves today, you know, because if these were restocks, oh man, we're gonna see those Trove prices dip down a little bit in the future. But until then, my goons, remember to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. My name is Kevin. We do these market watch videos every Monday and Friday. We cover news, we cover market info, and we just talk about Lorcana stuff. And once again, big thank you to everybody supporting for all those nice words. I really appreciate it. And we will see you goons next time.